Alright guys, welcome back. Devren here again, here to discuss with you today the coronavirus. I know it's what everybody's talking about, and so I'm going to talk about it as well. Let you know, should you be scared of it? How is it affecting the market? How is it going to affect your potential real estate purchases? And should you go hide out in your room, put a mask on, and never go talk to anybody for fear of being infected? I'm going to discuss all of that with you right now, so stay tuned. Remember to like and subscribe down below, and also leave a comment if you have any questions or any feedback as well. Thanks. Let's actually discuss what the coronavirus is. With knowledge comes power, and with power comes the ability to dispel fear. When you understand something, you're less likely to fear it. The coronavirus is a virus that typically affects animals, such as cattle, camels, bats, cats, and typically doesn't affect humans. There are about 7 different kinds of coronaviruses. Most of them are relatively harmless. There have been in the past 2 outbreaks prior to the coronavirus, as we know, that have affected humans. They are known as MERS and SARS, or the Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome and the Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome. The reason the coronavirus has the name coronavirus is actually from the name corona, which is Latin, and it means crown, and it's called that because of the spiky-like, crown-like surfaces on the head of the virus, which you probably saw in the thumbnail. Now, this coronavirus, as we know it, is actually scientifically called the COVID-19. Now, the number of coronavirus cases as of now, March 3rd, 2020, is worldwide 92,869, with 3,168 deaths and 48,469 people that have fully recovered. And so what does that mean? That means that of closed cases, meaning people that have either recovered from the virus or not, 94% of people recovered. Out of the total active cases, 41,232, 34,000 of those are mild condition and 7,100 of those are severe or critical condition. Now let's put this into some perspective, guys. I'm going to discuss with you some other different flus so that we can see whether or not this coronavirus is actually as scary as it seems. Now, back in 1918, we had the Spanish flu. About 20 to 40% of the entire world were affected, with about 20 million people dying, and about 500,000 in the US. In 1968, we had the Hong Kong flu. We had there about 1 million deaths and about 34,000 in the US. In 1997, we had the bird flu, which was a massive deal, especially in the media, but we actually did not even have 1 case in America, despite all the media coverage. And in 2009, we had the swine flu, which was a massive deal. There were about 20 million plus people infected in the US, and about 4,000 deaths in the US. Although the amount of cases was very high, the amount of deaths was actually very low, which meant it was not a very fatal sickness or illness. Now let's talk about the 2 most similar to the coronavirus. There are actually branches off of the coronavirus. First we'll go with SARS, and then we'll talk about MERS. SARS first had an outbreak back in 2003. There were a total of 8,096 cases and about 774 deaths. And what that means is there is a fatality rate of about less than 1%. With MERS, however, back in 2012, there was about 500 cases and about 170 people died. Now, to put that in perspective, and I'll put a graph up above, MERS killed about 17 people out of every 50, SARS killed about 5 people out of every 50, and the new coronavirus, COVID-19, kills about 1, which means it's much less fatal. Now, it has a lot of people concerned is the velocity of the virus, okay, that it's spreading very fast, which is very true. For MERS to infect the first 1,000 people, it took about 903 days, so quite a while. For SARS to infect the first 1,000 people, it took about 130 days. And for the new coronavirus to infect 1,000 people, it only took 48 days. So it's spreading much, much quicker. Now you might be thinking, well, Devren, that's a huge deal. Oh, it is a big deal. It's spreading quickly. But it doesn't spread as quickly as some other illnesses and diseases do. For example, if you look at this table of how contagious different sicknesses and diseases are, the coronavirus is about 2 to 3.1, but you can see that Zika, the measles, the HIV, they're all much more contagious. Things like the seasonal flu, Ebola, and the norovirus are less contagious. So the coronavirus is by no means some new zombie-making, infecting everybody illness. It's infecting a lot of people, but not near as many as some other things do. Now, let's also remember that there are only about 23 confirmed cases in the US at this moment. Now, there's about 30 other cases that are prospective cases, meaning the officials think they're infected, but they're not sure yet. So it brings the total to, say, about 50. It's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, with how many people we have in this country. If you are a healthy individual, you're most likely not going to be at risk. Much like the typical influenza, The people that are dying from this sickness are people that have other illnesses, sicknesses, or complications with their health. If you're an ultra marathon runner, you're a normal marathon runner, you're not a marathon runner, but you're just in good shape, good condition, good health, then you're most likely going to be fine and aren't going to have to worry about the coronavirus and are going to be in that 94% of people that recover if you were to be infected by it. Now, speaking of the flu or influenza, the CDC estimates that every year about 56,000 people die from the flu or flu-related illnesses every year. It infects about 9 million to 45 million people every single year, but we don't hear all that in the media. So why are we hearing about all this coronavirus stuff? Because people love focusing on negativity, guys. Don't worry about it. You're gonna be fine. Think positive. Listen to positive things. I'm not saying don't know about what's going on in the internet and on the world, but filter what's coming into your brain. Know that some things are not as big of a deal as people make them out to be. So now that we know about the coronavirus and put into perspective how bad or how not bad it is, let's talk about whether or not it's going to affect the economy. Because we did see the S&P 500 dip down quite a bit in the past couple days, past couple weeks. But historically, epidemics or even pandemics do not have an effect long-term on economies in general. And I'll share with you some information. So with the Spanish flu, the S&P fell about 24%, but it also gained that next year about 8.9%. But remember as well, that was during World War I, so we had some other large factors playing a role here. In 1968, with the Hong Kong flu, the S&P 500 went up 12%. With the bird flu in 1997, the S&P 500 rose, again, 32%, and then another 28% the next year. Also remember, that was a massive period of time for gains in the stock market because of the dot-com boom. In 2009, with the swine flu, the S&P 500 went up 23% that year, and then in another 12% the following year, 2010. And with MERS in 2012, the S&P 500 rose about 12%, and then the next year, about 20%. Sorry, 29%. So what does all that mean? It means that an epidemic, a pandemic, an outbreak does not have a large effect or a lasting effect on economies. We typically see short-term dips, and then after about 3 months, we've all recovered, the economy's recovered, and we're back to positive gains again. The US economy is in the longest bull run that we've ever been, meaning the upswing. We've been going up basically since 2008. Investors were just looking for a reason, any reason, to pull out some of their investments, to cash in, and they saw this coronavirus as a perfect time. And so we saw that dip in the economy. But it's nothing to worry about. You can invest in the stock market, you can invest in real estate, you can buy a home. Interest rates are actually all-time lows, and it's a great time to buy. So don't let this coronavirus affect your future plans. Don't let it affect whether or not you're gonna buy or sell your house or invest in real estate. Maybe don't go to China. If you're planning on going to China tomorrow, maybe hold off for a couple weeks, couple months. But go buy your house, go sell the house, go do what you're gonna do, invest in the stock market. Don't wait because of fear. Just go do what you're gonna do. I hope that was helpful, guys. I hope you understand the coronavirus a bit more. I hope you're pumped and confident and ready to go invest in the stock market and in real estate. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Happy to answer them for you. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next video.